Hi there, hope you're having a good day. Welcome back to another video. So this is a type of video that I've actually never done before. These are all shoes I've already done a separate video on, but today I'll be providing some updates regarding their performance. What has changed, what has not changed, has stayed consistent. Also things like if I found a fix to a certain problem on that pair. These four that I picked today, either I think people will be interested to see how they hold up, or I have something specific to update on. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more updates like this, please let me know by dropping a like. Or if there's any particular shoe that you want to see an update on, could be one from like a few months ago, let me know in the comments as well. I honestly still have so many more pairs to talk about, so tons of new videos coming up. Some are really good shoes that I can't wait to get to. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. It means a lot to me, and that way we stay connected to keep buying shoes together. All right, so I guess we'll start with a popular shoe, and that is the AE1. Adidas has been onto something recently with these, the new Hardens and the new Dames. So their design language is like, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you save yourself some money. If I was to think about one thing that is common among all these Adidas signature shoes in recent years, the first word that comes to mind is heavy. So that's the first thing I want to address. Ever since I got them, the AE1 has been the shoe that I played in the most. Surprisingly, I can safely conclude that the weight won't bother you too much at all on the court. It measures at 500 grams for size 10.5. I know that sounds crazy. If you think about it, it's a full kilogram worth of weight combined on your feet. But because of the upper materials and flexibility, there's still a certain level of nimbleness. Second thing is with the outsole. My first few times on a very dusty court, traction was about average. Clean court, these are amazing. Now I can say that after some break-in time and adjustment period, this is close to top tier traction. Also, durability seems great so far. I haven't even seen signs of wear and tear on the bottom. Adidas basketball shoes have usually been great in this aspect, unlike the Tatum 1 and some Nike stuff. Harden Volume 6, Adi Select 2.0, these are some of the hardest shoes to clean or maintain, especially with the suede part or wherever it has that felt-like material. But the AE1 only has that tiny part around the tip of the toe box. Well, this is only important if you care about trying to keep your shoes in good condition. Over time, the materials didn't start to wrinkle up or fold awkwardly, so that was nice too. Because I also got the blue pair, I kind of did the mismatch myself. So I kept one pair for playing, like indoors only. The other ones I've worn them out a few times. But yeah, I don't think you'll have any issues with how the outsole and treads hold up. AE1, my experience holds still. Great shoe. That all-star colorway is so nice in hand, by the way. Next up, I know these guys are super popular among young hoopers. For me personally, they took quite a while to fully break in, and that is the Nike Sabrina 1. It's so nice to see them bring a Nike ID back on this shoe. And I know a lot of people probably got their pairs customized. So our experiences might all be different, depending on which type of outsole we selected, for example. Now, mine is also Nike by You. First of all, I gotta say, picking the translucent outsole wasn't the highest quality decision. Traction was pretty inconsistent for me, at least in the beginning. Later on, they got a little bit better, but the grip, I still wouldn't call it top-notch. On the same court, it could be extremely grippy at times. Then about half of the times, I feel a little bit slippery on dust. And that is till this day. I know a few who got these in a solid rubber outsole, and they said the traction has been excellent. So just something to keep in mind if you're considering which one to get. Now, here's the biggest problem with the Sabrina 1. I can't stress enough about this. At the end of the day, it is a women's release. In Nike terms, that means not good for high volume feet. Usually not good for wide feet either. I also think that all shoes, if you wear them on a daily basis or beat them up like crazy, of course they'll break in eventually. But if the fit isn't forgiving enough and it takes way too long to break in, that's not a top tier shoe to me. In this case with the Sabrina 1, they're narrow, the toe box is more of a pointy one, so not spacious enough for me. For a friend who wears the same size, he basically has very fat feet, high volume feet, and he couldn't even slide his foot in there without hurting. So mine broke in slowly. No major problems with the shoe, but please be careful with the fit, because chances are they won't have bigger sizes in store, so you can't try them on physically. If you have wider feet, you can either go half size up or just avoid it to be safe. From Way of Wade, a brand that's been pumping out new releases that are all excellent performers, the Shadow 5, I do have something to update on. This might sound very specific, but if you have the shoes or if you're thinking about getting these, you need to pay attention to your choice of socks. Unfortunately, these boom insoles have a very sticky surface. It creates a type of friction that you don't want to have while you're moving around, turning your feet, or pivoting. Their own Way of Wade Elite socks, I mean, the socks are amazing, but those didn't work either. Nike Elite socks, nope. Any thicker cushioned crew socks or regular cotton socks, I've tried, they all didn't work. Interesting enough, the only solution I found to this is the Under Armour Playmaker socks, not their performance crew socks, like the Curry Brown ones. Those are also great socks, but it's only the Playmaker ones that are thinner, that have like a knit material with their Armor Dry technology, whatever it's called. That prevents you from the sticking and discomfort underneath. So yeah, the Shadow 5 is very picky when it comes to the insoles and socks. So keep that in mind if you want to have the best experience playing in these. Cushion is also on the stiffer side of things. That didn't really change or improve over time. Another thing to update on with the Shadow 5, if you remember, I said the traction wasn't very sharp to begin with. It was showing signs of improvement, and now I can say that the traction is really good. Turns out it's similar to the All Cities. If you normally play on a dusty court, like I do, it just takes some time. It sounds weird, but it just takes a layer of dust to accumulate. Because let's face it, it's almost impossible for an outsole to stay immaculate all the time. The Shadow 5 is not one that gets affected by dust pickup too much. Let's put it that way. Yeah, if I was deciding to wear the Shadow 5 or not, it's not about the core condition and traction. It's about, do I have that pair of socks to go with it? Or can I manage to run a long sesh in a stiff upper? Because sometimes we just want a nice and comfortable ride. You know. Last one to update on today is an amazing shoe, the Shockwave 5 Pro. I had it in my top 5 overall last year. You know what, if not for this small issue, this could have been like #1 maybe. And I did find a solution. So the problem is heel slippage. I bought one of those heel pads and they work really well. I discovered that when I had to wear dress shoes a few years ago. There was once like my heel was bleeding after work. That's how much the shoes were rubbing against my bones. And now I just use these as a little bit of a filler to hold my feet more firmly back there. With that little quality of life update for myself, I can say that the Shockwave 5 Pro is a flawless shoe. They're super light. Traction is excellent. It's one of the very few cases where the outsole is really good against dust. Minimal dust pickup, and it is responsive and comfortable at the same time. But again, the shoe itself comes with some heel slippage going through the sides. So that's technically buff performance with add-ons. The heel pad works, I say, more than half the times. It obviously depends on the shape of the heel cup and all that, but this works on the Shockwave 5 Pro. You can give it a try on other shoes that felt loose back there too. Just might look ugly, but no one's gonna look into your shoes after you take them off, right? Kyrie's first signature shoe with Anti is coming up very soon too, and the retail price is even cheaper than these. I respect Kyrie for keeping his shoes at least somewhat affordable when he was with Nike too. Shockwave 5 Pro, my conclusion is that it's already great to begin with. Just a little tuning in the right way makes a big difference to make it even better. So that's about it for this update video. AE1 remains excellent. Don't worry about the weight and durability. Sabrina 1 does break in, but again, there's a ceiling to it given the fit. With the two shoes from Chinese brands, Shadow 5's traction kept getting better, but it's just hard to find a pair of socks that go with the insoles. And Shockwave 5 Pro, I'm just suggesting a way to fix heel slippage. If it works out for you, this is probably the #1 best shoe for guards, at least from my experience. So let me know your thoughts on any of these. If you had a similar or different experience, please feel free to let us know. Any other shoe that you want to see an update on, drop it down below so I can get to it. I will always read every single comment as usual. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.